What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Cyrus Obsidian here at Obsidian Games, here to bring you more Yu-Gi-Oh content. So let us swing right on in. So for today's locals, we are playing post August 31st ban list. So we're still trying to figure out what to play even after all this time. So unfortunately, Shining Sarcophagus got a lot of hits. Well, a lot of hits with consistency hit, which does hurt. And we're still trying to figure out how we can play around that. So for now, we're swinging into a new deck that I have been wanting to play for today's locals. So I'm excited to see how it goes. And we'll be playing into the villain role, kind of like how I said I wanted to do last week. So we're playing Kashtira Mimighoul. As you probably know, Kashtira is a real big just banish annoyance, you know, big body monsters, big swing. Yeah. And then you throw in Mimighoul. So I think Mimighoul is really interesting for a TCG exclusive. It's honestly been doing pretty well as a TCG exclusive because, you know, TCG exclusives have done well in the past, right? So we're giving this a little try. It's a little concoction I put up. There might be others that know how to play this a little bit better than I do, but we're just going to give it a shot anyways. So let me show you the deck profile that we're rolling with, and then we'll head on out to locals to see how this craziness might do. So to start off with our deck list, we'll start with the Kashtira side of things. We are playing 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir, 3 copies of Kashtira Unicorn, 1 Ogre, 1 Rise Heart, 1 Scareclaw Kashtira, and then 3 Pressure Planet Raysos, 2 Birth, and 1 Theosis. So this is the line that I'm running with. I would ideally run more copies of this, but I'm waiting for the 10 reprints to pick these up, so I am playing 1 of each for now. But definitely upping this possibly to 3, and then this upping it to another copy. And it would most likely replace the Scareclaw Kashtira, and most likely the Ogre as well. The Ogre's nice, but it doesn't really suit any purpose. I like playing this lineup because I don't know, it seems very consistent enough. And as you can see, it is a very small Kashtira lineup. And since most of this was reprinted, I mean, the Fenrirs are the only thing that you're looking at as really expensive for now, at least until the Rise Heart and Theosis are reprinted in the Megatins. So there's that for you. And then to the Mimighouls, we're playing 2 Mimighoul Master, which might seem a little odd, but I have my reason for playing 2. Then we're maxing out on copies of Dragon, maxing out on copies of Archfiend, and then only 1 copy of Cerberus. So I think this is a really good line because Cerberus, you're wanting to search off of either your, well, most likely you're wanting to get it off of your Mimighoul Maker, which we play 2 copies of, along with 3 copies of Dungeon. Because Dragon can get you in a dungeon, or Dungeon gets you Dragon, Dragon will get you Maker, Maker can get you Cerberus and Archfiend. Hopefully you special Cerberus to your opponent's field, you get Archfiend and special it to your field, flip up the Cerberus, trigger its ability, and you're getting like plays. Next, we do play triple copies of Mimighoul Room. I think this is a really good card and it should not be slept on. Because it lets you like return your Mimighouls to the hand, so you can just throw them right back at your opponent, or you know, return the master to your hand. Also, it lets you special summon a Mimighoul from deck to either your field face up or your opponent's field face down, which is really key for keeping the dungeon live, so your opponent can't flip it face up. And then as for the 2 copies of Master, we're only playing the 2 copies of Master because we want to see the other Mimighouls over Master. Master we can easily get off of Dungeon or Room if we need to, because our extra deck is where we're trying to use the most, and then not utilizing Master as much. And then for our supports, we are playing 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent because, you know, we're forcing our opponent to activate effects, with 3 copies of D-Shifter and 3 copies of Imperm. I have definitely thought about playing Sol and Luna for this build, because I think Sol and Luna does go a little hard. Being able to target a face up on my field, flip it face down, and flip up a face down on my opponent's field, or even vice versa, which would come in handy in a couple instances. Then on to our extra deck, which is still a work in progress in my opinion. Playing 2 Shingra Era, 1 Big Eye, 1 Harmonizer Gradiel, 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal, 1 Typhon, and 1 Zeus. The rank 7 lineup I think is pretty solid. I honestly don't know what to change out. I definitely know the rank 7 Mecha Phantom Beast, plain whatever. I think that would be a good spot for Gradiel, just so you have more options. Also playing, like, instead of some of this extra deck, playing the rank 1 Exceeds, but those did spike up with Mimighouls. So instead we are playing a Link lineup with 1 Anima, 1 IP, 1 SP, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, the star of the show, Beauregard Dragon. This is going to be really key in a lot of our games. 1 Access Code, and then 1 Underworld Goddess. So I think it's pretty explanatory, the Link lineup. Anima, since all the Mimighoul flips are level 1s, IP to go into Beauregard on our opponent's turn, because we're hoping to use up the Theosis during our turn. Unicorn, SP, Phoenix, Access Code, all spot removal along with Underworld Goddess, since we can get a lot of bodies on our board. The one downside of this deck is that it does play into Nibiru pretty hard. With Nibiru seeing a resurgence, have to be very picky about how we play. So there's that for you. As well, we do play a solid extra or side deck. We play 3 copies of Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood for time reasons. Also, I couldn't think of anything else. 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, 3 copies of Dimensional Fissure, 1 Called By, 1 Harpy's Duster, 1 Kashtira Preparations, because we do play the Ogre, and I think Preparations would be a good search target for bait, and then 3 copies of Evenly Matched. So I think this is a really solid extra deck. These 3 might be the only questionable ones. Well, the Spooky Dogwood as well, but I am just excited to see how this will play out for today. So let's see if these 2 can blend well together and Mimi our way to a win.
All right, you guys, round 1 and 2 here. So round 1, we play against Voiceless, and apparently I'm just having like the worst luck playing against Voiceless. So game 1, he was able to go full combo and just set up his board. So we had some back and forth, but it wasn't enough. I didn't see Shifter. Game 2, we saw Shifter and Fissure, so we were able to just sit on those for forever. Game 3, I had 2 Evenly, Cosmic, Theosis, Raitsoth. Right, Raitsoth, Evenly, Cosmic, Theosis, and then I drew for turn because he went first, set up his board. I could have broke his board a little bit differently, but it didn't matter anyways because he had Fissure. I think that was the other card we had. I think. But anyways, yeah, like 2 Evenlies, he had enough to stop it, and a Cosmic, and he stopped my Raitsoth from searching, so we ended up taking that one there. Round 2, we play against Dragon Link again, and Shifter and Fissure were just glued to my hand, so we were able to just take it in games 1 and 3. Game 2 is a little rough, but we were able to stall for enough until he was able to get the game. Game 3 was probably the best. We were able to have 2 Archfiends, special and Archfiend to his field, special Archfiend, normal to mine, fissured, Archfiend to draw. We draw into Fenrir, and we had tactics in hands. We tactics and we got rid of his Cosmic Cyclone, and we just stalled on that for a long time until we were able to take game. So far, not doing too bad. So we'll see how rounds 3, 4, and 5 go, if there's a 5. All right, so we got confirmation that there is only going to be 4 rounds tonight. So for round 3, we play against Whitewoods, and we took that to our advantage, not knowing how to play the deck, and my opponent also not knowing how my deck functioned. So game 1, we established our board, we give him some Mimighouls, Kashtira stuff, we pass. We were able to play around some of the interactions that he had. We were able to clear his board with Fenrir and the Mimighouls. We were able to just take it on the clapback since he had activated Pure Rice so he was down to 4K. Game 2, he goes first, and we shifted. Couldn't play through Shifter. We go and set up a board, and we had him down to 1,200 life points. We went into Red Ice Flare. He had 2 Mimighouls, and we were ready to, flip 1 to burn him for 5 while he was resolving effects. So we were good in there. So we were able to take it 2-0, which is nice. having the advantage of not knowing, or my opponent not knowing what I'm playing is really great. So we're able to take the win there. So 2-1, one more round to go. Deck's doing pretty good. I know what I want to cut from the deck after playing it tonight and what I can put in its place. So that's good news. So after that last round, I don't know anymore if I really want to take out the imperms. So we play against Branded for the last and final round. We go game 1, we open up the nuts. We were able to establish our board, hardcore. We were able to have flip monsters at the side of the field. We had control of the extra and main board. We were cooking, and we had an imperm. So we take game 1, game 2, he opens up first. We have Shifter. We saw Shifter a lot today, so I mean, that's cool. But anyways, we were able to just play Shifter control for a bit, but we just always saw was Mimighoul engine, so we weren't able to get into the cash engine and just push for advantage. And then game 3, we go nuts again, but we clog our board on our turn. So we had just a full board that we couldn't even do jack with. We had all Mimighouls, Rise Heart, a Rise Heart, and Shangri-La with Imperm. He goes, so funny thing is, off of a Rise Heart, we banished the top 3 of his deck, and we hit the one of Branded Fusion and banished it face down. So right as soon as that was gone, he was done. He still tried to push through though. He was able to get into Contact Fusion for the Avalonatus, and was able to just clear my board a bit, but right as soon as it came back to me, we were able to just clear his board, just go for game. So we went 2-3-1 tonight off of a deck for the first time. So I mean, that's pretty cool. The Imperm definitely came in clutch in a lot of games today, especially against the Branded matchup where we were able to hit Aliber, Rebellion, Albion a couple times. So that was pretty good. I was thinking of dropping it entirely just so we could play D-Fisher instead, but I think we might keep it just because it was that impactful. Tactics was also impactful tonight. We didn't see it as often, so I don't know if we will keep it or main it still. But we'll just keep play testing and see what happens. Honestly, it was a good night for the deck, as it was its first debut. But, you know, most of the times my first debut decks always do pretty good, and then they just go downhill from there. So we'll see. We'll maybe shake it up a bit before the regional, but we're going to keep practicing for the regional. We've got some other decks that we want to try out and just see what happens. So that's it, everyone. Thanks for joining. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Honestly, if you want to see more Mimighoul action, let me know. Definitely thinking of some other spice for Mimighoul, so we'll see what happens. We'll pass it over to you.